Welcome to Summary of the Week, your quick guide to the top headlines. Today is Saturday, August 2nd. Here's a recap of some of the major events this week. Last Saturday, Iran reportedly conducted its first live test of the Russian-made S-400 air defense system near Isfahan, marking a significant boost to its military capabilities. The system was believed to have arrived last year via a Russian military transport plane. The two countries have deepened their military cooperation since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Iran has supplied Russia with thousands of drones widely used in Russia's invasion. On Saturday and Sunday, Russia launched hundreds of drones and missiles across multiple cities, including Kharkiv, Dnipro, Kamyansky, and Shoska, leaving at least 2 dead and dozens injured. A Ukrainian FPV drone reportedly took out a rare Russian Orion UAV mid-air, possibly the first air-to-air drone kill of its kind, and in Russia, Ukrainian strikes and sabotage wreaked havoc. A Su-27 UB fighter jet was destroyed on the ground at a base in Krasnodar. Drone attacks set ablaze critical military plants in Stavropol and knocked out a power station near Volgograd, disrupting key military rail routes. Ukraine marked its first day of remembrance of defenders on July 28th, honoring those who have died in captivity. The day came on the 3rd anniversary of the Olenivka prison massacre. On July 28th and 29th, Russia is accused of bombing a POW facility near the Ukrainian town of Olenivka and killing over 50 Ukrainian POWs, many of them the last defenders of the besieged city of Mariupol. Families gathered at Kyiv's Maidan Square to remember the victims and demand the release of prisoners of war. The Ukrainian military says Russian forces continue to commit systematic crimes, including torture, execution, and inhumane conditions, in violation of international law. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday that he was disappointed with Russian leader Vladimir Putin's lack of progress toward a ceasefire and would shorten a planned 50-day ceasefire ultimatum for the Kremlin as a result. "I'm going to make a new deadline 10 or 12 days from today. There is no reason for waiting," he said. Speaking alongside British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Trump said he thought he had a deal with Putin to end the war multiple times, only that it never materialized as Moscow continued to launch attacks on Ukraine. Retired U.S. General David Petraeus, who commanded U.S. and coalition forces in Iraq and Afghanistan, said bluntly that peace won't come without overwhelming Western support. "You have to stop them cold on the battlefield," he said. Ukrainian and Belarusian hackers laid low the Kremlin flagship airline Aeroflot on Monday, wiping databases, publishing passwords, stranding thousands of travelers, and demolishing the IT infrastructure of Russia's biggest air passenger carrier. The massive cyber attack brought Aeroflot freight flights, also the nation's largest, to a near standstill, aviation news platform said. Hackers responsible for the attack claimed most of Aeroflot's digital database was irrevocably erased. On the same day, President Zelensky signed a law to expand Ukraine's security service, the SBU, giving a major boost to its elite Alpha unit, the special forces team behind recent drone strikes on key Russian air bases. In June, the Alpha unit carried out Operation Spiderweb, a high-risk mission that used drones launched from cargo trucks hidden in plain sight. The drones were enhanced with artificial intelligence. They destroyed or damaged over 40 military aircraft, according to Western intelligence estimates. The newly signed law increases the total SBU personnel from 27,000 to 37,000 in peacetime, and from 31,000 to 41,000 during wartime. The Alpha unit will grow to 10,000 personnel. At least 22 people were killed in a barrage of Russian strikes across the country early Tuesday morning, with 85 more injured, Ukrainian officials said. A total of 73 villages reportedly sustained damage in Russian overnight attacks. Many of those killed, 16, died in a correctional facility in the Zaporizhia region. Russian forces also struck a maternity hospital in the city of Kamyansky, killing at least 2 people and damaging the hospital. According to Dr. Orhan Dragas, a Kyiv Post contributor, one of those killed was a 23-year-old woman named Diana, who had been 7 months pregnant. Later on Tuesday, at around 9:30 p.m., Russian forces targeted a training site for Ukrainian ground forces. That strike killed at least 3 and wounded 18. China announced Wednesday it will hold joint military drills with Russia in August, including sea and air exercises near Vladivostok and naval patrols in the Pacific. The move highlights growing military ties between the two countries. Over the weekend, Dorothy Shea, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, urged China to halt dual-use exports to Russia. Reports indicate that Chinese-made drone engines are being covertly shipped to Russian manufacturers disguised as industrial refrigeration units to circumvent Western sanctions. Ukraine's military intelligence, POWs, reported Wednesday that it's uncovered concrete proof of the mass abduction of Ukrainian children by Russia. The announcement came after a recent cyber attack by Ukraine's POWs targeting servers of the Russian-installed government in occupied Crimea. The hack extracted over 100 terabytes of data, and now officials say it includes thousands of documents confirming the forced deportation of children from occupied areas of Ukraine, like Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, and Luhansk. The files contain detailed lists of deported children, cases of illegal Russian guardianship, and even the addresses where these children were relocated. Ukraine's intelligence agency says this evidence will help locate the children and bring them home, while also preparing criminal charges against those responsible. Also on Wednesday, Trump announced that Indian imports will face a steep 25% tariff starting Friday, while also warning of penalties over New Delhi's continued purchases of Russian weapons and energy. The move marks a sharp escalation in the American president's effort to pressure Russia and its key partners amid Moscow's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. After 9 days of protests, on Thursday, near Ukraine's parliament, demonstrators had reason to celebrate. The Verkhovna Rada voted to restore the independence of NABU and SAPO, two key anti-corruption agencies, reversing a law passed just over a week earlier that had placed their autonomy in question. Cheers erupted in Mariinsky Park as young activists, many inspired by the Maidan generation, marked what they called a victory for civil society and democratic accountability. The decision followed not only sustained public pressure at home, but also growing concern from Ukraine's international partners, who had warned that weakening anti-corruption institutions could jeopardize future aid and Kyiv's bid for EU membership. Despite ongoing war and a recent wave of missile attacks, the rallies continued daily, underscoring both the public's demand for transparency and reform and the critical role these institutions play in Ukraine's European path. Early Thursday morning, a Russian missile and drone strike hit Kyiv, killing at least 31 people, including 5 children. Ukrainian officials said at least 159 people were injured, among them 16 children. The attack struck multiple districts and damaged residential buildings, schools, and medical centers. Rescue teams worked through the night in Svetoshinsky district, where a residential building collapsed. That area, along with Solomynsky, were among the hardest hit. Damage was also reported in Holosivsky and Shevchenkivsky neighborhoods. Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko confirmed that the deadly Russian airstrike used a new type of high-speed drone that Ukrainian officials say is harder to detect and shoot down. Germany announced on Friday that it will soon begin delivering 2 additional US-made Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine as the country continues to endure intensified Russian drone and missile strikes. In agreement with the United States, the German military will send the Patriot launchers in the coming days, with more components to follow over the next 2 to 3 months, according to a statement from the Defense Ministry. Thanks for watching this week's Summary of the Week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay informed.